Welcome to Multiversial, a show where a judge introduces a world that is just like ours, but with one key difference to our two master debaters to argue if it's plausible and how. It's like telling General Grievous he can't have any more lightsabers. I am Deacon. I am your judge today, and allow me to introduce our two debaters, the wonderful Jen and Leia.
Thank you so much. And I'm so proud of you. I was like rooting for him to botch that.
No, it's great. And in fact, we're both wonderful. Isn't that nice?
We both are wonderful.
He called both of us wonderful.
Yes.
The wonderful and incomparable Leia and
Ooh,
Jen.
yay, I like it. More synonyms, please. Just like Kramer used to make.
You know, even after you didn't, give me any quantifier in the last episode.
Well, let's see in like 2 episodes if that changes.
Anywho, are you guys ready for your topic for today?
Oh boy. Oh boy, howdy. What world are we jumping into now?
Okay. So, today's is a universe where every human on their 18th birthday switches bodies with another random person on Earth that was born the same day as you.
Permanently?
No. Just for one day, for your 18th birthday.
Oh, for one day? Alright, that's not so bad. I mean...
You could cause a lot of havoc.
Well, the worst... I mean, you're gonna have a whole confused high school.
I guess.
Yeah, on your... And it could be anywhere in the world. So it could be like you switch places with a Japanese person that was born on the same day as you.
Wow.
What happens if you die?
Alright, well, hold on. We have... Hold on.
Do they get to keep the body?
Why is that this thing that we always bring up?
Well, again, I just really was curious, like, because you got 2 people body swapping, what happens if one dies? So valid.
Alright, so, I'm gonna be real, right? So, out of all the ones Deacon has introduced, this one is not terrible.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
So, like, okay, like, it can be catastrophic, because imagine if you got, like, if you lost your body to your enemy.
Yeah, what are the odds if, like, you swap bodies with your arch enemy, that you've been arch enemies from birth, and you knew this day would come, and then they just wanted to, like, fuck your life over?
God. So,
yeah,
like...
it's completely random, and it's not, like, gender locked either, so,
wait,
like...
Leia.
You damn well better!
Leia, are we in agreement for once?
I think we might be in agreement for once. This doesn't feel that bad. It doesn't feel that good, but definitely not bad.
Well, okay, so, like... First off, what you're telling me is they don't get an 18th birthday party? Like, do you try to plan, like, okay, whoever you swap with, we're just gonna all celebrate here, like...
Do you speak the language of the person you swap with?
Oh, no.
No.
Okay, so then it just got worse.
Oh, no, can it be anywhere in the world, or is there a distance lock?
Anybody in the world.
In the world.
So imagine you end up in, like, you end up in, like, Germany or something.
I changed my mind, this is bad now.
Yeah, it got way worse. No, you go there, and you're like, I need to use the phone to call my parents. I'm not gonna be back for 24 hours.
I'm thinking, like, close proximity, like...
Well, I mean... Your parents and everything would know. Like, they would know.
The whole world
that, like,
would know.
This
the
happens.
world
Yeah.
would be aware this is a thing. But, like...
Okay, so first thing that we have to do to make this even remotely possible is there has to be a universal global sign, like how choking is, that I've been body swapped,
yes.
leave me the hell alone.
Actually, yeah, that would probably actually exist.
I was about to say,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's a thing that would exist, and I'm also gonna point out.
I literally just thought of it and compared it to the choking thing, which is universal.
Right.
We have to make it a thing. We're making it a reality.
Well, it's also kind of like now all the stuff that you could legally do at 18, like there would probably be like a rule of like you'd have to show your license to make sure it's not your birthday. This way, say your enemy couldn't enlist you in the army or something like ludicrous.
Oh my god! Could you be like that'd be just like the worst prank? Be like, I'm gonna get this motherfucker.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And then you both go back in. and then in the future,
Yeah.
you end up being in a war against each other.
Like, there would have to be a law where it's like, if you turned 18 today, you're not allowed to sign up for anything. You can't become, like, a stripper. You can't become a porn actor. I realize I just made this explicit. It's fine, because it has to be discussed.
It's fine. Like,
you couldn't be enlisted in the army.
No, and it's just funny, because you know, like, the day, like, you know that the people in the adult entertainment industry are, like, clasping their hands, like that meme, where they're like, oh, they just turned 18, we gonna sign them up. We're going to get them either to buy our stuff or make our stuff. And then now, in this world, the adult industry is not hurt at all by it, but they're frustrated that they have to wait one more day.
A whole day.
But I will say that, like, I imagine that it would be sort of one of those things that, like, if you go to, like, a convenience store or whatever, and they've got those little signs that say, if you were born on this day, you can buy alcohol. It would be, if you were born on this day, and they just peel one off every day.
Yeah. Yo, real talk though, like, and this is only for 18-year-olds, right?
Just 18-year-olds one day.
Okay, so that, again, that doesn't really affect too many things. It honestly just affects, like, you know, like, it's not going to be like you're in the body of a politician or...
No, again, there would now just be, like, a ton of more rules about things you couldn't do on the day you turn 18.
Yo, but real talk, I think maybe people might be way more open-minded in a world like that.
Oh, no, because you know what? Everyone would absolutely have tracking chips now. So you could track the body. Because you imagine your kid is swapped with someone,
oh my God, that's
and
horrifying.
that person doesn't know where their house is. So we would 100% have tracking chip technology for that now.
But I will say that, like, I imagine it would be a situation, like, because we already have, like, the technology on our phones where, like, you can talk into a thing and it translates it for you. So the language barrier isn't necessarily that bad. Like, you could talk in your native language and translate it to a language that they can understand, so you can still
if they
talk.
have a smartphone, then they could just go on to Google.
I mean, also assuming it's a family who isn't impoverished, though, too, and, like, has that ability.
But let's talk about cultural, right? So this is actually kind of cool. One of the things that is always said is that travel is the thing that just kind of destroys racism and prejudices in a lot of instances, because you get to open your mind up to new experiences.
You live a day in someone's
So even
shoes,
just a day of travel, if you were like somebody across the country, across the state, across the world, like, it would make a lot more people at a young, impressionable age probably open up more and then want to discover things.
Oh God, though, could you imagine? You know how many crimes people would get away with, though? Like, if you happen to be a victim of a crime and you're in someone else's body, that would suck.
Yeah, your defense is, it was my birthday, Your Honor.
Yeah, I think that would definitely be a thing. It would have to fall into that same, like...
Okay, all right, I got one that's kind of lewd. Are you ready? Imagine you, for your 18th birthday, your partner, because, you know, kids are always, like, you know, doing things they shouldn't be with the premarital sex things. Imagine you're just like, they want to make it special, and then the very next day you wake up in your new body and you're like, why does my ass hurt?
But again, that would definitely be a thing where, like, everyone in the world knows about it.
Yeah, like,
But could you imagine being the unlucky person who decided, you know what, I'm gonna fuck with whoever's in my body tomorrow?
To be fair, Deacon, right? So, there was a video I saw recently, and I forgot about this video, right? Of these idiots who were having a drunk party, and they set up a sled to slide out of the house into a pool. So because they're like, well, it's gonna go into a pool, let's light it on fire and slide on a fiery sled in my house into a pool. Now, obviously, we all know what fire does to a house, right? But we did it anyway. Kids are dumb.
You know what? That actually brings up a point I wanted to make that's kind of like a really, like, Orwellian or, like, dystopian kind of take on this. Because we're all talking about how interesting this would be to travel and everything.
I'm not.
Real talk. What would probably happen is, oh, you're turning 18 tomorrow? Time to lock you up in the birthday room.
That was gonna be my next thing. It's like
they lock you up in the attic for the whole goddamn day so you don't get into any trouble.
I'm gonna be real though, right? If I were a parent, I would do that to my kid.
Totally do that.
I'd make sure it's proofed. You know why? If you ever listen to crimes about sociopathic children,
you get the unlucky one that tries to hurt you.
You get the one who swapped in. It's like, well, time to commit my first murder in someone else's body. Like, because you can't track that.
But like I said, I mean, I feel like I mean, you would be able to track it because it would be on their ID.
Yeah.
No. What I'm saying is, I'm now in someone else's body, right?
Yeah.
Now, you can't track whose body I go to.
Yeah, but
right?
when your body switches back, they would know.
Maybe. What? Okay, remember when the Flash is possessed by Luthor and he's like, time to see who the Flash is?
That's fair.
Like-
But in my defense of this argument, the
Okay.
Flash didn't carry his goddamn wallet on him.
Okay, so I'm a kid. I know I'm turning 18. I want to commit a murder. Guess what I'm doing now? Chucking my ID somewhere.
Why are you so focused on murder?
I listen to murder podcasts.
Every podcast.
That is what I do.
That's like the first thing she goes to.
This is gonna be like the 18th birthday is the purge, and now we just lock our kids up when they're turning to the 18th birthday. Sorry,
See-
kid, you're being trapped in there for a day, making sure you don't murder. Here's some food under your hole in the door for the food bowl.
Oh my god, the capitalism though, be like, celebrate your special day with a you're staying in bed doggy bowl for the
my
kid that's
God.
coming into your house unwanted.
But see, for me, I was thinking about this more of like since everyone in the world would know and they have been through this, that it's a surprise and it's random who you get. So you just try to make the day as best you can for this random person. So you still have a birthday party for them and you still like whatever. They still experience, things that happen on their 18th birthday, just
Listen,
potentially in a different culture
so
or in a different place.
at
Which
the
would be
start
nice.
of this, I made the same comment. I'm like, I guess you just have a mass birthday party where you try to make everything cool. But now I'm worried about the murder children, Deacon.
And I love that this is her go-to because like she's doing that thing where people are like, well, let's make the enemy of good perfection. It's like, yeah, some one out of a little bit is gonna get a little bit homicidal, but like, come on, like we're really gonna punish the 99 people that don't be like the 1% asshole?
I'm just saying how I would handle the situation.
You
I'd have to put
like
them
a
through the
weirdo,
test.
yeah.
No, I would just have put them through the test and make
It's
sure they're not
also a
psychopath.
child. It's an 18-year-old little. But the average 18-year-old isn't like this Jack Titan that could throttle you with their biceps or whatever.
I mean,
They're
you
like
got-
this
you got
scrawny
me
little
there.
thing
You
that's
got
probably
me
out
there.
of shape because all they do is sit around and play video games nowadays.
You don't need to be in shape to use a gun, though.
For me, the
Don't
thing
let
that, like,
your house have a gun in it then.
You're talking to America, Leia!
That's fake.
But like I said, like I feel like there would definitely have to be a thing, much like what you were saying. Like you can't sign up for the army, you can't do this if it's your 18th birthday or whatever. That would basically excuse you of a crime because if somebody else is in your body, like you can't be held accountable.
Oh, no. But that's the thing. I'm not worried about going to jail because someone committed a murder in my body. I'm worried about the fact that someone's getting away with murder.
I'm worried that I come home after a day of swapping bodies and my parents
And
are
my parents
dead.
are dead, right?
Yeah,
That's
but-
the part I'm
But
worried
it's
about.
not that
Oh,
bad.
I'm not even talking about like
alarm
murder.
systems! No, it's great. We make is your kid turning 18? Here's an alarm system panic
No,
button.
no.
Boom, solved.
It's not
great.
No, it's not a panic button. Are you ready?
Panic button.
No, it's a shock collar. When you get 18 for a day, you get to realize that you get treated like a goddamn dog and you have a shock collar and then your parents have the button and they're like, okay, I don't know you, kid.
Listen, if someone had to put a shock collar on me for my safety, I would understand that. But I also understand that, like, the wrong person, that's a bad idea as well.
I kind of would like the shock collar, not even for my safety.
Leia, no.
Leia,
But
yes.
again, I'm not necessarily even talking about like murder. I'm talking about things like larceny or
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto or whatever. Like you can't be held accountable for that.
There would
Those
also
things
be
don't
like a
change lives,
registry,
Deacon.
right, of people who are like, because we know everybody's birthday. There'd be like a government agency probably.
That's true.
Police know when
I guess there would
when
have
you
to be a
turn
registry at that
18 'cause
point.
It's on
Yeah,
your
yeah.
ID anyway.
It's like
so
everybody's
look at them and be like,
birthday would be
"Oh,
chronicled.
you're
Yeah.
not- you're not the correct person in the correct body right now."
I want to spin on.
Smart,
I want to
smart.
spin on a positive again. It would definitely make people who swap genders way more accepting of trans people.
100%. 100%.
Absolutely.
And it might help curb sexism a little bit too.
Yeah, because you have to deal with being in. Because again, it's not gender
See,
locked.
but look
and
at us.
It's not
We
like,
came together.
It's not region locked either. So
We came together, and I think for the first time ever, it took 7 episodes, we have solved a problem in another universe. Look at us. We came up with a registry. We came up with tracking. We created laws to like make this work. Good job, team.
I also
Good
just
job,
want to point
team.
out that like 7 episodes isn't really a history.
It took 7 episodes. That is, well, we got 20 minutes to a half hour each, so that's like 140, 100, like 200 minutes maybe. Good job. Look at that. In 200 minutes, we finally solved a universe's problem.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, I was, whenever I originally came up with this, I was thinking about this from like from a positive, because like you said, like you would get to experience a culture, like there might be cultural differences to how people celebrate their birthdays, or you know, how they deal with certain things or whatever. Like if I got transported to somebody in Japan that was born on February 13th, right?
Oh, Deacon.
Like I would get to see what Japan is like and experience things
Deacon.
and see things like that. It would be cool.
All I'm hearing is you brought a good idea to Leia and I to destroy.
Yeah, no, 100%. Honestly, though, this one seems kind of lit.
I brought a good idea to you, and it was not breakable.
That's one way to look at it, champ. That you seem to be winning. We solved murder. I don't know what else you can do when you turn 18.
No. First off, what kind of 18-year-old life did you have? First of all, we just talked about murder. Like, that's the thing that we're just all worried about. No, I'd be worried about, I hope my kid survives their 18-year-old birthday. Like, hope they're not, like, born in a goddamn war zone.
Oh, yeah, wait, we have to go back to the first question. What happens if you die in the other body?
Yeah, I did ask that.
We got distracted.
So I really do, like, I think that if you die in the other body, like, I guess in that case, then you just keep the other person's body.
Yikes. So the
Like
other person's the one who gets to die?
Yeah, the other person dies and your body dies, so you are stuck in this body because you don't have anything to return to.
All right, worst take. Are you ready? Worst take.
Uh-huh.
Instead, both of you now have to share the same body.
I was wondering about that.
Oh,
like,
oofa doofa.
And then we have
That
a
would
whole
suck.
new level of problem solving where, like, there's schizophrenics, but then there's actual people with voices in their head because there's a second person in there.
Yeah,
What was
they
that
take
about
turns?
groundbreaking your
Multiple
universe?
personalities. Yeah.
And we broke
No,
it again.
could you imagine, like, they have polar opposite interests
It took
or
s-
sexualities?
It took 7 episodes and we'd solved nothing. Good job, everyone.
Well, no, I still don't think that's. I mean,
Deacon,
I am deeming that the other person just dies and you keep their other body.
whoever
'cause
eventually writes a
solution.
manga about this, have fun.
This is the worst isekai.
That's pretty bad, though, because imagine someone's coming from, like, an abusive spot, and they're like, you know what? I'm gonna just get out.
Yo, imagine they
Oh,
hunt.
no, I did that backwards. They'd have to live, and the other person would have to die.
Well, no, but like imagine, because you can guess it, I'm going back to murder. So I come from a terrible household, and I'm the body of someone in a sweet household. I go find my body to kill it, so I get to stay.
Some Gemini Man shit. Never saw that movie, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was about.
This just
But no,
became a
like-
body swapping horror comic.
The more we talk about it, the less I want to live in this world.
Yes.
But I mean, like I said, there are a lot of things that I still like about this universe.
No, this universe is shit. Let's take a dump on this universe.
But you know what though? I will say, out of a lot of the ones we talked about, it is one of the most plausible ones. We have solved a lot about it. It's just there's some parts that suck, and that's
I mean, just like any
just like life,
basic
right?
society, yeah.
You'd be barred from travel too, right? You wouldn't be able to get on a plane, I'm guessing. You fly at 18? I assume so, right? That's not a
Yeah,
21 thing, right?
I mean, you can. There are people who send their children on planes and they're like 10, and they.
I'm
send
still
them
trying to think
alone.
about what
Like,
things you'd be banned from doing. You couldn't fly. And also, does this happen exactly at midnight? And if so, what time zone? Do we know the exact time it happens, or is it just when you go to
I
sleep?
would say that
Can you cheese it by pulling an
happens-
all-nighter?
I would say that it happens at Greenwich Mean. So like that's the center like time zone for pretty much everything. So it would happen like at midnight Greenwich Mean Time.
Okay.
Is it Green? I want to know what time that is. It's Greenwich Mean?
Yeah.
So right now it's 4 a.m. So would we have to have a universal like time zone, or would everyone just have a clock that counts in Greenwich Mean and then your time zone?
Well, I mean, so Greenwich Mean Time is GMT. So a lot of people just like some people use that anyway. Some people have that on their like watches or whatever anyway.
Oh yeah, especially if you deal a lot internationally. Like that's usually common where you have multiple clocks.
It's like a universal. So you use the universal time.
What I'm saying is now everyone would probably have to.
Yeah, pretty much everybody would have to. Also, in some countries, you can drink when you turn 18. So I mean, that would be fun. Switching to a new country and getting to drink. Like,
and then you come back to America the next day and you're like, fuck!
I would probably say that you would have to say that like you couldn't like smoke or something, because that is like an addictive thing. So you like
that was alcohol to some people. Like probably all of it would just be like, you gotta wait a day. I feel like.
Yeah, but if you're just trying alcohol for the first time, you're absolutely not going to get addicted to it. But I mean,
did we forget how Edgar Allan Poe died, Deacon?
Of rabies?
No. He had that alcohol thing where it turned out he had a whole issue where alcohol apparently was like a thing that he shouldn't have been drinking but did anyway, because
I mean, yeah,
those were the times where we didn't understand that stuff.
I feel bad for the people who trade up in their body for the day.
And then have to go back.
Yeah, and then have to go back.
Yeah. Could you imagine getting to swap with like someone who's like rich? They got a pool.
Oh my god.
They got like
you can't change your bank account. So how do you eat things?
How do you what?
How do you pay for stuff? You can't change your bank account.
Well, ideally speaking, you're swapped into someone who has a family who will help you out.
Or maybe like everybody gets like free meals for their whole birthday.
That would be nice.
I mean, that would actually be a better idea. So if you can prove that it's your birthday, like you just get copped on everything. Like you're like,
that'd be nice.
That'd be a really nice
like
thing.
This world has a lot of ups and downs. I mean, I feel like the ups, are better.
We've solved a lot of the downs. So I agree. That's why I said, out of all the ones we've talked about, this one is pretty tame. Deacon coming here with the tame ones.
I mean,
good job.
You gotta switch it up every now and again.
It's true, it's true.
But yeah, like I said, I mean, I feel like that would be the more likely thing, that like it's just a universal thing. So people have already gone through this in their life, so they have solved this by being like, you know what, if it's your 18th birthday and you can prove that like by the other person's ID or whatever, then like, you get comped on everything for the day. So like if you wanted ice cream, you can get free ice cream or a free cake or whatever.
I wonder if there's like a fake ID reasoning there to like get ahead on some stuff or like get some free meals.
You stay in your place, you just make a fake ID and learn a new language. That's literally what you have to do. Just fake the language, start speaking in another language and translate it being like, today is my birthday. And you show them your fake ID that has that as like today as your birthday, and you get like free shit all day.
That's what I was talking about. I'm like, could you imagine now you got like the fake ID business of people being like, you travel the world just getting free meals because you pretend it's your 18th birthday as long as you can get away with it.
Yeah. I mean, if somebody wanted to game the system that way, I guess it would be.
Because then I'd also imagine, what if hotels offer like free shelter if God forbid you did wake up in like a situation where you had nowhere to like rest?
Yeah. But yeah. I mean, like I said, I think that,
you want to think we'd come together and make a nice world, and I approve.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? It's 2021. We gotta like, we gotta cross our fingers and hope that like somewhere along the way we make a better world, even if it's fiction.
No, I dig it. And again, like, I'm just saying for all you listeners, there are some cool story ideas in this podcast. Hint, hint. Maybe think about it.
However, everything that we talk about is trademarked, so you have to change things. And we get compensation whenever you make it big. So
Grease the wheels a little bit. Remember your favorite ferrets.
Yeah, when you make it big off of an idea you heard in a random improv podcast, like maybe throw them $1 on Patreon.
Yeah, we get some of those profits. We get royalties.
So, I would say I'd try it out. I'd live on this planet. It feels like people would have a healthier attitude about other human beings.
I want to hope so.
Right.
My hope's been in a weird place lately, and I'm trying to get back there. So when we talk about a lot of the nice things, like, yeah, I definitely get that, where it's like you want to hope it would breach a whole new form of understanding for everyone. Unless you're in, like, any time before or around the medieval times, then it's probably a bad time. But if you're in, like, modern times with this thing, yeah, it's probably pretty cool.
But yeah, like I feel like for me, I feel like that it, like you said, it would be a whole new level of understanding between people, because I mean, it would be like if you switched with somebody of the opposite gender, or if you switched with somebody who had a sexual orientation or something that was different than you.
Honestly,
like, it would sort of give you that perspective.
I would have loved to see it be in the perspective of even older people. Because, like, let's be real, it would destigmatize a lot of work, you know? Like, somebody would have to, like, basically be a janitor, and that's a respectable job, and people treat it like it's not. You know, like, you know what they do in Japan? They teach their students, they have their students clean up after themselves to foster a more, like, respectful environment.
But that's what I mean, like... in a way, that would also still solve that, because if you turn 18 and you go to Japan, like, you know, you're being taught that lesson. But like I said, I mean, if you switch with somebody who is a different, you know, like sexual orientation than you or whatever, like for that day, you were being like, you know, you were experiencing life through their shoes and seeing what things are like, and you get that nice perspective of like, you know, oh, you know, I had a view that may have been a little bit, you know, bigoted towards this person, but or towards this group of people, but now experiencing their life for a day, you know, I see where I was wrong or whatever, you know.
Yeah, which, you know, you hope people get, like the old adage of, you know, walking a mile in someone's shoes, you know.
This is literally that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think that this would be a nice world to experience myself. I think that I would want to at least, you know, try it, because I mean, it would be fun to switch with a different person for a day and get a new worldview from it, you know. I mean, the fact that it's random would be wild, but
yeah, I think that's, like, it'd be cool to see someone figure out a way to not make it random, which I'm sure would be a hot, like, scientific research project, you know what I mean?
Probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, with that said, though, thanks everyone for tuning into Multiversial and visiting the strange and maybe not so dangerous world with us.
Special shout out to our sponsor tier Patreon, Neji Kuma, and all of our paid subscribers for keeping us employed making free content like this podcast.
Big thanks to our Judge Deacon for picking our topic today. And for all you listeners, be sure to check out fierceferrets.com for all the great stuff we make and links to all of our social media and Patreon to help support the show.
See you another time in another world, strangers.